Great to have you back here on the Road to Rock. How's it been going, my friend? You're looking great, brother.
It's good. It's going good. Ready to get on the road to rock. I am.
Well, I think we all are at this point, Ripper. It's been, let's see, I've been to one concert in 16 months. And you know what? It's, you don't realize what you miss until you don't have it. The old adage is true. Man, it's just been a crazy year, man. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl to start 2020. I'm in Kansas City. Life's good. And then things kind of came crashing down, man. It's been a crazy year.
It has. Listen, I don't go to a lot of concerts, but I give a lot of concerts. So it's been killing me. I'm like, man, but I've been doing a lot of playing the last 3 or 4 months. Excuse me. The last 3 or 4 months, I've been doing a lot of local shows and, within about a 6-hour area, I've been doing some shows. So it's been kind of nice to get out there again.
Well, obviously, the KK's Priest project is first and foremost on many metal fans' minds. The album Sermons of the Sinner has really gotten rave reviews, by fans and critics alike. Kind of starting off with this, how did this sort of all unfold with KK? I know he's been kind of trying to work on something for quite a while now, and when it comes out and with the name and you being involved, a lot of people just were really pumped for that. Just how did your involvement sort of come out with this? How long have you been kind of attached to KK on this new project?
Well, we started it when I did that show a few years back with Ken and in his club there, his venue, not a club, and the venue in the Birmingham area, wherever it's at. I think Wolverhampton, Birmingham. I'm not sure where it's at exactly, but the KK Steel Mill, and I think that was 2019. Now it seems like it wasn't very long ago, but I think because we lost the whole year. I think that started the ball rolling, to be honest. I think it was in November, and Dave Ellison and AJ on guitar, and that one did have Les Binks on drums, and that's why it started with that. And unfortunately, Les ended up not being able to do it, but I think that's what started it. Kid didn't want to do anything. I mean, he said it forever. He can't. I went through there quite a bit, did a lot of solo shows through there, and he would always come out to the show and hang out, and he really didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do music, and he just started getting the bug again. He started talking about it, and I think these 2 shows, he did a show with at Bloodstock, and I think that really started it in our show. And and I think when he knew he probably wasn't going to be involved with the 50-year Priest thing, which is still strange, when that wasn't going to happen, I think he really was like, you know what, I want to go do my thing.
And how important for him to have a familiar voice, a familiar face to come in and sing these songs and to collaborate with, because you take a flyer, you find someone, you try to find someone that maybe isn't quite as in tune with the material. With you, easy does it. You come right in, and the collaboration speaks for itself. Awesome stuff, and I think the album's getting amazing reviews. So it's got to be pretty gratifying to see this, to see these reviews starting to pile up on you.
Well, it is. Here's the thing. This is what we do. I mean, you can tell when somebody doesn't follow my career or follow me when they go, man, I didn't listen to him high like that. He's, trying to sound like Halford, or I've never heard him sing high. And I'm thinking, have you ever bought any of my records? I mean, have you ever? I mean, every single one of them. I mean, Scream Machine vocally is very much like Sermons of the Sinner. I mean, and not one time did anybody tell me in all these other records that I sounded like Rob Halford because they were my records. Now I do this. That's my only thing, is when people are like, I didn't know, this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, you haven't got it. This record is so good and so much KK Downing. I mean, that's what I'm going to say. Obviously, it's going to have Judas Priest things. He wrote Judas Priest songs forever. And when you hear, like you said, you heard 5 songs, whatever, you could tell who was writing songs for Judas Priest. I mean, that was just the way it is. That's how Ken writes. But vocally, what was great is he wrote a record and wrote it for me to sing, because we worked together for years and we're friends, and he knew I could sing just about anything. So he wrote a record and said, let's write this for Tim to sing, not anybody else. And, it was nice that I could just go in there and just sing, man. I mean, I do have a versatile voice. I can sing all kinds. I get compared to Dio at times when I use certain voices or whatever. But I would think after 30 years, people would finally start saying I sound like Ripper Owens, instead of somebody else. I mean, when you sing and put so many records out, I'm shocked that someone still says, he's trying to be somebody else. I'm like, no, I'm just myself. I set the bar pretty high to sing like myself, I think, but I sing like myself.
Maybe it's an ultimate compliment in a lot of ways because you were able to do it so seamlessly and that you have established yourself beyond the realm of Judas Priest material. People do know you and know who you are. And maybe the easiest comparison is just to go back to the kind of what brought you to the forefront, as it were. But
well, it is. But when you sang that same style before I was even in Judas Priest,
sure.
Winter's Bane, every band I was in, this is the way I've sung. Yes, everybody's influenced by somebody. But you would think that years later, when you've done it for so long, someone would finally stop saying, "Oh, you sound like." Well, I get it. I get you saying. The problem is, I get people saying that when they don't follow my career, they didn't buy 3 Trimmers, or they didn't buy a New Revenge or Beyond Fear, or my solo record, or Iced Earth, or Spirits of Fire. When you don't buy all those records, you're just going off of that. So that's pretty much what it is. They're not actually a fan or followed my career.
Well, for a lot of singers, we've seen a few get off to kind of a rocky start, returning to live performances and things like that. For you, gosh, the voice is a muscle like anything else. You don't use it as much for a year, 16 months. What's it been like for you kind of returning to the stage? And has it been kind of a transition at all? Have you been rusty? What's kind of been the vocal prowess of all this stuff?
Well, I have been singing nonstop in the studio. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing, because you're singing somebody else's material a lot of the time. So that's actually like going to the gym and doing a different curl workout bicep workout every time. You're using it in different songs you're not familiar with. But I've been forcing you to do that. I mean, I'm in my studio now, and I just started before the interview, started working on my second song of the day. But I have a music I did with a band called Pyramid. I did the 3 Trimmers record. I had the one that I just did now. That's a Leviathan project with some friends. I do songs for bands all over the world nonstop. Some people say to me, "Why do you do that? You're just do one record." Well, if I did one record, I would have a regular job. If I did one band, I would have a regular job. I gotta be honest, I'll even know with just staying with KK's Priest, I have to do music. I have to sing a lot. So for me, I didn't used to do this as much because I toured so much. Like you said, touring was it. But I would post, I could guest on a record, or people started getting a hold of me. And I sing all week long in my studio nonstop, so I've been kind of able to do that. But it'll be nice to get back to not doing that into singing live, because you're singing your own material and your voice gets to that. I mean, right now my voice is killing me. It's hoarse. And the songs weren't even that difficult today, really. But I sang all day yesterday, started off this morning singing, and I'm fortunate to get to do that. I love doing it. I sing with music. I got 2 more lined up to do this week. I love singing and doing these for bands. And some people, it's a dream come true to be able to work with musicians you want to do with. So it's pretty fun.
What was your relationship like with KK during the Judas Priest years?
Oh, it was great. My relationship was great with all of them. I mean, I got along really well with Rob, and even in those time periods. And then since Rob came back, we're friends. I got along with everybody, Glenn and Ken and Ian and Scott. We in management, Jane. It was a great relationship. We all got along, and Ken and we carried our relationship even more after I left. He would come out to my shows. I probably did 3 or 4 solo shows close, and within 2 hours, he would drive 2 hours to come watch me. So It was pretty cool. And it's funny because he would bring AJ with him, and now AJ's a guitar player. So I met AJ years ago as well when he was in Hostile. So it's really good. Those guys, I know they have their issues, but as a whole, with myself and everybody, I really got along with and get along with everybody. I mean, I have nothing but great memories and great things to say about all of them. And I get to continue it on with Ken and make this music.
What do you think kind of, and again, I always preface this by saying, I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be some world renowned scientist or all knowing being, but this last year, man, it affected so many people, so many different ways. It sucked. And for a lot of people in a lot of ways, but the fact that I've seen so many artists struggling, and that's the area that I'm in most. I'm in media. I cover sports, and I saw how they had to handle sporting events and players, which are now kind of being threatened if they don't get vaccines, and it's still carrying over. But to see musicians struggle, it hurts my heart, man. What's kind of been your thoughts on the last year and the total kind of shutdown, and we just have to wait and see, and here we are, I guess, finally getting back to it, which is good. But was this all necessary?
Yeah, well, you know what? You got to wait. I mean, listen, it is what it is, whether, whatever you think about it. I mean, I'm on the side of seeing my girlfriend go to New York as a paramedic and work. I'm back in Ohio. She went to New York for two months and worked when COVID first started, and she's never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
So she's experienced this firsthand. But you know what it is? My thing was this: let's just get through it. Let's do whatever we have to do to get through it. I'm not a snowflake who I don't want to wear a mask, and whether they work or not. I mean, I got COVID before, but I'm not a whiner that's going to whine about wearing a mask. Wasn't that difficult. I mean, I wasn't a roofer and I wasn't digging a ditch in a mask. I actually wore my mask the whole time I was in the gym on the elliptical and the treadmill. I wore a mask because, first of all, wearing a mask out to stores, I don't really have to talk to any jackasses half the time either. So they don't recognize me. So that makes it even better. But, I just had the philosophy of I will do whatever I have to do to get us back together, whether I believe it, whether I think it's right, whether I think it's wrong, politically, left, right, middle, whatever the hell we're talking about. Let's just do whatever we have to do to get it back together, to get going on. And you know what? Everybody just use common sense. I mean, if you are, my thing was back then, if you are sick, stay home. If you don't want to wear a mask, you're worried about things, stay home. If you're a masker and you're worried about people without masks, then stay home. Just do whatever we got to do. That was how I looked at it. Because you know what? I miss sports. I'm a big sports guy. You know that. And music. So my philosophy was whatever we need to do to get us back in the right direction, let's do it,
And we've
and
we've hopefully done that, or at least
I mean, we're close because even now when numbers go up, they're going to go up at times, and then this new strain's going to hit, and it's what it is. Listen, we got hit with something we've never seen before, and it was a strange situation. You don't know how to handle it, but you know what? Numbers are going to go up and down and move around, and you still use common sense. I mean, I'm not going to go to the grocery store and lick the back of somebody's head. I mean, I'm going to stay 6 feet from them and not be around somebody, and who's coughing. It's just common sense stuff, right? You do what you got to do. But I think we're there now. I think we're in a better position where you feel a lot safer going out there now.
Well, I guess that kind of leads into this. A lot of people are just so excited to see KK's Priest in a live setting. I know, kind of tour dates are pending, or what can you update us with as far as some live performances go for KK's Priest coming up?
Well, it looks better now, doesn't it? I mean, now listen, this is why we didn't release the record. We had tours set up, everything. So you can't do anything. Now it's opening up. I mean, America is one place that's opened up more than a lot of other places. I mean, the problem is we want to do big touring. So it's the magnitude of it that's going to be the issue. But I think it's ready to roll now. I mean, I think we're definitely ready to go. I mean, there's other things violence and craziness on the news every day that you see that I think I'm more worried about going into some states and cities because of the violence that's happening than I am of COVID. I mean, there's more, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
oh yeah.
I mean, do you go to Chicago with a mask on or a bulletproof vest? I really don't know. I mean,
neither.
You know what I'm saying?
Probably
It's
neither
like,
right
so,
now.
but I think we're ready to roll. I think we're ready to, I know we are ready to start booking. We have great management and a great label that are on it and going to get this thing going.
Well, absolutely. And I when we at the onset, we kind of talked about how we talked to you last at the Dio Returns tour, and I hadn't talked to you since that. I mean, it's been a couple years now to kind of reflect. And I saw it here in Kansas City. I thought it was tremendous. I'd seen Ronnie live one time in my life with Heaven and Hell on the Judas Priest tour in 2008. And so to have that happen, to bring my girlfriend that had never seen Dio live in any incarnation, to be exposed to people like you and Craig Goldie and some of the other, and Oni Logan, some of the wonderful musicians involved with Dio Disciples, I think it was a tremendous experience. And in hindsight, I think it was absolutely awesome. Kind of as you have a chance to reflect, how did you feel that tour went?
I love doing it. And the thing is, it was all done for the right reason. I mean, everybody's always saying stuff about Wendy Dio. Here's Wendy losing money to try and make fans happy. And that's basically what obviously the goal was to make money for herself, but she loved to try to make fans happy. I think the show was such a great show.
Yes.
And the hologram, not just with the hologram, but the lighting and the background and all the videos that were shown and the photos of Ronnie. My girlfriend was like, man, it was, the photos of Ronnie is what got her. She's like, man, that's the stuff. I don't even know how Wendy could watch the show because of those photos. The hologram's the hologram. And it's great and cool. You know what got me? I was standing backstage waiting to go on, and I would not see the hologram. I would just hear the music. I would just hear Ronnie's voice playing with a live, here's a live band and Ronnie's voice is singing along with it. It was like, man, it gave me goosebumps because it just felt like, without even looking at, listen, if you want to go there and you don't want to see the hologram, then close your eyes. It's an experience in itself. But the hologram is it's such a cool experience. Like you said, you got to take your girlfriend, say,
yes,
and go and see this. It's just an experience. It's a show. It's a big show.
It was awesome, and I'm so glad you guys did it. And huge thanks to Wendy for putting it out there, and to all the naysayers. I would say you kind of missed the point. It was tremendous, and I think at this point, to me, we've lost so many in the last 5 years, Tim. Like, it's just striking if you look at the artists we've lost, and you go and you start listing them name by name. And for you and for people like me, like, it's just a sobering thought to know that your heroes don't last forever, and it's just. I don't know, there's something sobering about that. And you look around and you think that this music has to last forever, and it will, thankfully, but that's what we have to do now, is celebrate it and make sure that this music stays alive. That's what it's all about for me anyway.
Well, it is, I remember Don Jameson coming to the show, and afterwards he's like, man, and he said it months later, because that was one of the best shows I saw of the year. That show it was just amazing. But you're right. I mean, listen, I see some performances out there now that I think the singers could probably use a hologram right now and not even wait till they're gone. Listen, I think I could use one right now too, if I could just get myself a little hologram out there of myself. But yeah, it's a special thing. And to me, it's Ronnie singing to a live band. I think that's what gets it too. It's like it's a real live kind of show. And listen, it's a hologram. It's not supposed to be Ronnie James Dio. I mean, people are like, that doesn't look like her. That's not Ronnie. I'm like, no shit. It's not Ronnie. I mean, it's not supposed to be. It's a show. It's entertainment. Enjoy it. You have no problem with, watching someone in a movie that passed away and they digitally make a guy up to look like and finish the movie. You have no problem. I mean, this is entertainment, and it got me every night, man. It was a hell of a time.
Well, Tim, I'll tell you what, before we let you go, and we appreciate the time so much, we got to hit you with our final 4 drum roll, which is 4 quick questions, and you just give us whatever comes to mind.
Okay.
Question 1, you're a sports fan. I'm just going to go ahead and assume, and you just go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, that you might be a Browns fan. And if you are, how bad are they going to lose to the Chiefs week 1?
Well, if it wasn't for that bad call, they could have beat them in the playoffs. But Chiefs are amazing, a fun team and a likable team too, though. That's the difference about someone like your Chiefs.
Oh, there you go.
They're a fun, likable team. So it's not like the Steelers or the Ravens. Um,
Agreed.
I think the Browns are going to win by 20.
There it is. That our first NFL prediction of the year, and we're going to have it right here from a very unlikely source. That is awesome. So
that's not real though; it's fake. But or lose by 20. Can I put that too?
Yeah, win or lose by 20. I think it's going to be like down to the wire, like the playoff game was. Although we'll have hopefully Mahomes healthy in the game, and that'll hopefully help a little bit.
That's a big difference.
I like Baker Mayfield though. I like what the offense the Browns have built. They got a lot of depth. That's going to be a good team. And
here's the difference this year. The Browns fixed their defense, even though their defense wasn't horrible. They've got. I mean, their defense should rock.
Their secondary got a lot better. That's going to help out against the Chiefs for sure. Not against the Ravens so much because they don't throw the ball or anything. So that's okay. Question 2. Kind of in the last year, a lot of, some downtime. I know you do a lot of singing, a lot of studio work. You're always busy, but for a lot of people, it's been catch up on binge watching shows time. Are there any shows, streaming or otherwise, that you've had a chance to catch up on in the last year that you might not ever otherwise have checked out?
I have been, listen, I've watched shows nonstop, so I can't even remember the names of them. My girlfriend and I sit. I just watched one, Mr. In Between. It's on Hulu, Australian, I think, but it's 3 seasons, and you know what I did? The Fargo series.
That's great.
I watched off. Is there 4 seasons, right?
I think there's just a 4th one.
I watched all
aired. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched all of those. So, but we watch a lot of stuff from HBO Max and whatever. We're watching stuff all the time.
Oh. Absolutely. I think that goes for a lot of people. Okay. Kind of a different one here. I'm sure you've been asked this before, but for our listeners, I mean, I'm not going to ask you your favorite Judas Priest album, but I want to know what your favorite Iron Maiden album is.
Well, I love Number of the Beast. Peace of Mind, maybe, I guess, but I really love Number of the Beast or something about it. But I'll say Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind. It's somewhere in time for me, and I get weird looks every time I mention it. Maybe I should just start keeping that to myself. I don't know, but I love Somewhere in Time.
Hey, listen, I get it because sometimes I'll tell people my favorite Judas Priest record is Point of Entry, and people are like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, I just change it up." But this week it was Point of Entry.
We got a twofer on that one. We got it. We got the favorite Judas Priest album. Okay, so final one. What is the first album that you bought or that you stole?
Probably Kiss Rock-a-Rolla.
Dress to Kill.
Rock and Roll Over, or what is it called?
Oh, Rock and Roll Over. That was 78. Rock and Roll Over, I think. Yep.
Was that it? I think it had Dr. Love on that one.
Yeah, that's Rock and Roll Over.
Yeah.
That was it.
That would have been it, I think. But I bought a lot of singles before that, like Elvis and probably Gary Newton singing "Here in My Car." Was that the guy Newman? Gary Newman.
Oh, Cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but I had those. But probably the first one I bought, I think my brother and I bought the Kiss record.
Okay, so I got to call an audible here and throw in one more quick one. Final Four drum roll is complete, but I got to throw a 5th one in because you've done so much and you've been a part of so many acts and you're just, kind of omnipresent, as it were. What act, band, living or dead, you could stand on stage and perform one set with one time? What band would that be?
Black Sabbath. I would Heaven and Hell. I will even say Heaven and Hell version, but I wouldn't want to sing it with Ronnie as well, though. So
that'd be awesome.
Ronnie and I could share singing the song Heaven and Hell.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Tim, you're the best, my friend. Thank you so much. Everybody, I want everybody to make sure they hit up your website, timripperowens.com. That can get you all the information, all your upcoming stuff. And I know there's a lot more.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot more coming up. So
I got all my merch on there, but also it has all my other social media pages. So my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you get all that stuff on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, thank you so much, my friend. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you out there somewhere in the stratosphere one of these days here with a live gig. We're going to make it happen, brother.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you again, man.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you.